Welcome back to Midco Sports. Tonight, I'm Alex Heinert, joined as always on Mondays by the head coach of UND hockey, Brad Berry. And Brad, a big weekend for North Dakota hockey here at the Ralph and beyond. Alumni weekend with Brock Besser making things happen in Tampa Bay, Drake Kajula, Nick Schmaltz, Tucker Pullman all here in the arena. A fun weekend for the UND hockey family.
Yeah, a lot going on. Not to mention us playing Denver here. It was a big weekend. It was great to have all three of those guys, Tucker Pullman, Nick Schmaltz, Drake Kajula coming back, dropping the puck. It was a big deal. And then also capping it off with Brock Besser winning the skills and the MVP of the AllStar game. So again, it was a big weekend and really proud of those guys.
Yeah, pretty cool to see this program, again, represented on the national stage by so many recent grads for this team. Well, the current team taking on the number 4 team in the country in DU this weekend. The weekend got off to a great start Friday night. A fantastic opening 20 minutes for your squad. You build a 2-0 lead. What was the key to that fast start against the Pios on Friday?
Well, just having the attack mentality and knowing that, we had a big rival coming into the building here and knowing that it was a key weekend, a key series for us. And I thought we started the right way, played very hard. And, we played for the first 30 minutes that attack mode, and then we just kind of backed off just for a few minutes of the second period there.
Yeah, and you mentioned that things kind of flipped about halfway through the second. They took the initiative a little bit, got back in the game. What did you see that changed halfway through?
Well, you know what, I think we're always talking about our team about mental resiliency and whether there's ebbs and flows of games. When you're high, don't get too high. When you're low, getting a goal against, don't get too low. Try to play that even keel approach. And we've been doing a good job. It's just that, they put a couple of shifts together after that, the goal they scored in our end of the rink, and it just kind of turned the game again. We got it back in the third period again a little bit, but I thought for a brief period of time in the second it got away from us.
Yeah, you still led 2-1 after the second. They get a goal early in the third, and then Cole Smith takes a 5-minute major. You only allowed one power play goal, though, in that 5 minutes, even though it gave them a lead. Talk about the importance of holding them to one. Again, one of the best power play teams in the country.
Yeah, well, again, it was something that we worked on. Obviously, power play, penalty kill, special teams are a big part this year. We worked on it extensively during the week, and I think it helped, as far as their entries and playing in the zone, and very limited them to, various opportunities. Thought we did a good job. To hold them to one, it was, didn't want to give up that goal, but the biggest thing was our response after that. We got the extra attacker goal to make it a tie game, and that was a big deal.
Yeah, you mentioned, again, just one power play goal, given up the entire weekend after giving up 6 last week. Again, a big thing for this team. You talked about Hayden Shaw's goal there. You pulled the goaltender with 1.5 minutes left. Hayden comes through, a huge goal for this team to push it into overtime.
Yeah, and those are the things when you pull the goalie and you go 6-on-5 up. Obviously you want to try to do it at the right time when you got possession in the other team's end, and they managed to work out. Shane Dursis came off the bench, got possession of the puck, made a couple of plays, and Hayden made a nice shot to tie the game. That was huge. Momentum-wise, going from a loss to a tie, that was a big deal.
Yeah, you end up getting. You force 3-on-3 overtime, they end up getting the extra point. You come back on Saturday, basically the exact same thing, similar situation, but a different kind of game, a game that was very tight through 60 minutes, not a lot of space out there for either side.
No, Saturday was very reminiscent. It's probably even tighter checking of a game with the score being 1-1. Yeah. But, what I told our guys in the locker room after, the compete was there, the performance was there. The result, probably we wanted the 2 wins, got the 2 ties. And I said to the guys, in playoffs, you don't play 3-on-3 hockey, it's 5-on-5 hockey, and that's the biggest message is the compete performance was there. We'll get guys back after the break, we'll keep building this team, and we're going to make a run here.
Yeah, as you mentioned, I think going into this weekend, knowing you were missing Rhett Gardner and Nick Jones and Gabe Bass not playing as well, a lot of guys banged up after this difficult stretch. I think even though you want the wins, the ties certainly do not hurt you in terms of pairwise, in terms of the goals for this team. Yeah. It was a good weekend in the end for this club to grow.
Yeah, it was. We got a couple points out of it. We're tied for 3rd place in our league here, and again, that's one of our goals is to be top 4. We want to win the Penrose. That's number 1, but number 2 is getting top 4 to get home ice, and then getting the frozen face-off, and then from there it's a national tournament. So again, we're still aligned for the goals that we want, and we're going to make sure that we check those boxes.
Chance now to get some guys healed up. A much-needed open week for this team. Talk me through what the mindset is going to be for these next 11 days or so between now and Colorado College at the beginning of February.
Well, first of all, getting the guys back and maintaining that schedule of recovery for those guys that are out of the lineup. The guys that were in the lineup, it's a big deal this week. The bye week, we want to maximize, what we want to do on the ice and in the weight room, but we have to be sensitive to the point of guys are nicked up and banged up a lot. We were down to our lowest number of the year as far as availability of players. guys put their hearts on the line and they're banged up a bit. So we got to make sure that we do the right thing to maintain their bodies and progressively build our week going forward here to next week, which will be game week.
How much of a balance do you have to make? How much conversation do you have with guys like Mark Pullman about checking in on how the guys are feeling coming off a week like this?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. This time of year extensively. I mean, every day, first thing in the morning before we even think about practice plans and different things like that, Mark Pullman is a key part in our lives as far as knowing what to do with players and what's best for our players.
Yeah, one of the most important guys in this program, certainly year in, year out. Well, Coach, hey, enjoy a chance now to get some of those guys healthy. 8 games left in the regular season. Incredible that we're at
It's a sprint to the finish right now.
Best of luck getting this team ready for that final stretch run. Thanks again for the time as always, Brad. Good luck this next week.
Thanks, Al.
Brad Berry, Kelly, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. When we come back, your weekly dose of athlete tweets. You don't want to miss this, so stay right here.